largely, probably a large group of Year 13s are doing kapahaka at this time. So awesome.
Cool. So I'll give you 1 more minute to do that. So if you have in front of you, please make sure you do it. If you have finished, I can grab your things back. Scan. You're on your phone now. Normally a study we had a few unis come this year. Just good. You haven't missed these water bluffs.
Exactly. I'm taking the best one.
Thank you. Give you a little bit longer, team. How are we doing?
Oh, good. Yeah.
Look at your face. Like
Oh.
behind you.
Oh.
Sorry. No, whatever. Right, team, we might actually crack into it. Some of you are still just filling out that form. If you are, if you could just continue while I start, that would be awesome. So if I can have everybody attention this way, that would be great. Cool. So I'm lovely to meet you this morning, and it's so excited for you that it is Friday. You've got a good Friday treat today, having me coming and speak. So I'm Katie. I am from Te Whare o Waitaha University of Canterbury. I'm a future student advisor from the university. So essentially, I have, I think, the best job ever in the world, where I get to support you from this point forward through to your journey into UC. Okay, I visit students from all over New Zealand in different capacities, but I'm very lucky because I look after one region specifically, and this is your region. And so, yeah, from this point onwards, if you have any UC-related questions, any worries, anything like that, I am your person. What we do really well at UC is support our students, and that support literally starts from now. Cool. So I'm just going to start by doing a little bit of a poll here. So pop your hand up if you have absolutely 100% of an idea of what you're going to do next year. Okay. Pop your hand up if you have absolutely no idea. Pop your hand up if you have some idea. Cool. One thing I want to say is that I travel, as I said, I travel New Zealand. I speak to students all the time, and it is okay whether you know exactly what you're going to do next year or whether you have absolutely no idea. Lots of students are in the same boat, and I always say make sure you make the most of coming to these presentations. And today you're going to hear about the University of Canterbury, what we have in terms of student facilities, our vibe, what we offer in terms of qualifications. I always say to students, 8 universities in New Zealand, okay? All academically are on exactly the same playing field, okay? So whether you go to Auckland University, Otago University, UC, you are going to have a really good education. So students often say to me, so how do I know what university to pick? And I say, you've actually got to look beyond that. And you've got to go, what vibe do I want to be in? What is the university that suits who I am as a person? I hope that you look back when you're 25 years old and really enjoy your university experience. And maybe that's through UC and you leave this presentation today thinking, yeah, I love that, that was great. Or you leave the presentation thinking, maybe that's not so much my vibe. Either way, that is okay. I have 100% done my job. Cool. So to start off with, when we think about going to university, we often don't actually consider you're going to be moving to a whole different city. So there is a lot of really cool things that Christchurch has to offer. After the Christchurch earthquake, even though there was a lot of devastation, we're actually in a really lucky position now where we have pretty much rebuilt a brand new city. So there is opportunities popping up for our young people all the time. There is not many cities in New Zealand that you can literally travel 20 minutes and you're at the ocean, and an hour and a half and you're up at the ski fields. We literally have 6 ski fields within a 90-minute distance of us, which I think is pretty awesome. When we speak to our students about why they chose Christchurch, one of the other big pulls is that we are one of the cheapest cities to live in terms of major cities in New Zealand. Rent in Christchurch is a lot cheaper than a lot of other big cities, and so being a student makes you be able to use your money that little bit more wiser. So we're going to start off by listening to some of our students who Christchurch is their home.
Welcome to my campus.
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 Cool. So what lies within the confines of Christchurch is the University of Canterbury. Okay, we have quite a few things that stand us out from other universities, and often we get asked, well, academically, you're saying that all universities are good. What makes UC different? And we're going to talk about those things right now. Quite often, our future student advisors go out and we speak to our current students, and we also sometimes interview our alumni as well. We say to them, okay, cool, why did you choose Canterbury and why did you love your experience at UC? And a lot of the time students come back to us and say, we think UC has an amazing balance between work and play. So our students work hard, but they also play hard and have an amazing social experience as well. One of our top, selling points is that we are one campus. We're a campus-based university. So when you look at movies like in the US or the UK, you see all the halls of residence in one space, all the university all in one area, and we are very like that. We're not in the middle of a bustling city, we are kind of like a city within a city. There's some really cool things about being a campus-based university. One is that we have any facility pretty much that you need on our campus. So, to name them, we have a pharmacy, we've got a health centre, we've got a gym, we've got restaurants, we've got a cafe, we've got a bar, we've got a big auditorium, we've got a post shop, so many things all in that one space and literally within a 2-minute walking distance of each other, which I think is really accessible for our young people and our students. Probably one of the best parts about being a campus university, I think personally, is that our faculty, so our law faculty, our health faculty, our teaching faculty are all really close together. So what we have done as a university is we have enabled you to be able to mix and match your qualifications, okay? So what I mean by that is if you're studying a Bachelor of Commerce, you might have a major in marketing, but you actually might have a minor in something like sports coaching. And you have the ability to be able to mix and match your qualifications like that, which I think is pretty cool. So at 9 o'clock, you could be at a history lecture. Those lectures usually go for around 50 minutes, so you finish at 9:50. And then by 10 o'clock, you might be at an education lecture, or you might be at an anthropology lecture. So lots of our students love that you have the flexibility to be able to study a whole lot as part of your qualification, as part of your degree. At the moment, you're probably doing 5 or 6 subjects at school, and so then we ask you to then go and hone into one. But so many of our students come to us and say, hey, Katie, I want to study business, I want to do accounting, but I actually really loved PE at school and I still want to dip my fingers in the PE round. And so I say, cool, great. Bachelor of Commerce with a major in accounting and a minor in sports coaching, or a minor in strength and conditioning. And you have that ability to be able to do that on our campus, which I think is pretty cool. UC has a clubs culture like no other, and when you sort of look at students having a fun social time on campus, those events are often organised by our clubs. So clubs are like interest groups. We have over 160 on our UC campus, spanning from the Engineering Society, which is our biggest club on campus, all the way through to our club Walk Soft, which is where students literally go and eat guacamole and have a good time, which I think is hilarious. One of our future student advisors, Grace, you may have met her last year if you came to the roadshow. She's awesome. When she was at UC, she actually joined 7 clubs. So you can join as many clubs as you like or as little as you like. And I think the best part is that if you come to UC and you have an interest and we don't have a club for it, we actually encourage you to create a club, and we also fund you to create that club as well. So I definitely recommend getting involved in everything that our clubs have to offer. So we're just going to have a little bit of a listen about our club's culture. Question?
Why do all the clubs have soccer then?
Society. So it's like Engineering Society. Some are like You Can Dance, so some have other names, but most of them have soccer at the end. So we're going to hear from some of our students that study at UC, why they love UC, and also a little bit about the clubs as well in there.
I'm from Auckland originally. I left Auckland because they offer a lot of scholarships here. Because of the scholarships, I've been able to pay for my university, and I've also now started saving for my future.
Okay, from small part of Waitangi grew up. Canterbury University is so good that, I'm literally, 2 minutes walk from university, right across the field, I'm at my lecture field. Canterbury for me is changed my perspective on Christchurch itself, like a perfect student life, just because you don't really have to worry about too much apart from going to your study, and then after that, you don't want to, you just go home, chill out, and later on at night, you just go out if you really want to do that.
The thing that really jumped out at me about Christchurch is they had a really hands-on focus. So next year is my second year, but half of the entire year is just working in it. Beginning of next year, I'm planning to go to Europe and go to these really big competitions, like world competitions, and there's just so much support down here that I'm able to do it.
I have a lot more time for my studies and a lot more time for myself. I'm not having to transport into a big busy city every day.
You have far more options. Like you can just bike through the city for like hours and just be like totally content with it because you'll see something new.
There's always new places opening. It's quite vibrant and exciting to be able to be part of that.
Loads of sick. They're all flat pads, and skating is awesome. Rent here is just ridiculously cheap. You got more money to spend on yourself, obviously, than paying cheap rent. I got salmon in the fridge. Who has salmon in the fridge? Who has salmon in the fridge? I was stupid.
I just got my flight secured for next year, and it's a really nice spot.
Traveling around the South Island is so easy,
Skiing and snowboarding, we have lots of activities.
The club scene in Christchurch is huge. No other university does it like Canterbury does.
Being involved in the clubs, it's given me some skills outside of just my degree that's relevant to my career in the future.
You have connections and people are willing to help you out. I found it to be absolutely amazing, and I would not change where I went for uni because I really do love it here.
Cool. So you can see in that video, our UC students are definitely proud to be UC students. So one thing that is new to our presentation this year, which I really like talking about, is our Students Association. So when you become a student with us, you're actually under the umbrella of the University of Canterbury Students Association. They're a student-run association club, massive club, that are there for students and to advocate for students. But one thing that they do that they're most known for is they're the ones that organise the big events at the beginning of the year, mid-year, and at the end of the year. So the Students Association organise things like Orientation Week, Toga Party, Tea Party, all those fun, really awesome events. And recently they gifted us a video. The video is of orientation from last year and shows some of the fun that our students got up to. So we're just going to have a little bit of a look. So that's the more social fun side of campus, but ultimately you are at UC to be able to get your qualification and to have a really great education. And there's some things that we do at UC to help foster that. So we are known, our reputation is that we really do care about you as a student as much as we care about you academically. And there's a few ways that we help foster your health and well-being. One I think is awesome. As a UC student, I wish I was a UC student to be able to do this. You get our gym on campus for absolutely free. That gym has weights rooms, a rock climbing wall, a spin classes, Les Mills classes, 2 massive basketball courts, and it is absolutely free for our students, which is awesome. The other thing that we have on campus is a health centre, okay? The health centre is literally a 2-minute walk from your class, so it's right smack bang in the middle of campus. And at that health centre, you have access to free nurses, access to counsellors, psychological support. And if you have a community services card, which most students do in their first year, you get to go to the doctor on campus for $15. Now, I booked a doctor's appointment 3 weeks ago, and it cost me $75. So $15 doctor's appointment in relation to $75 is quite a big saving for our students, which is really cool. There are other support services that we have. Starting from me today, I'm your future student advisor. As you know, I help you until you become a UC student. I have an email, I have a work cell phone. Feel free to text me, email me, anything you need from this point onwards. I am your person. Don't be afraid to do that. That is my job. That's what I get paid for. So please make sure you use me and my support this year. When you become a UC student, we pass you over to a team called the Kaituko. I take about 3 weeks. When I pass you over to the Kaituko, I cry a few times and get really upset that I have to say goodbye to the students that I've got to know so well. But on the other hand, I'm really happy for you that you've made it to UC, you're good to go, and you're off to the next team. So the team Kaituko is kind of like your one-stop shop for anything that you need in first year, okay? Whether that's pastoral support, whether that's you're having issues with your classes, you need help with course changes, or you just want to go and tell them something cool that's happened in your day. They are there to support you. We've got a few other support services up here that we have. Probably once every few weeks I get an email or a text message, and it really upsets me because students say, hey Katie, I had a reader writer at school, and I guess when I go to university I won't get that support anymore. That is absolutely not true. So if you're someone who does have special assessment conditions, we have a student accessibility centre where we are going to continue those assessment conditions for you as you enter university, as long as you have the correct documentation. Cool. So that is why we are so awesome. But how do you study with us? So to get to UC, you need to make sure you have your university entrance. This has probably been pounded into your brain already, but I'm just going to repeat it. So you need to make sure you have your 60 level 3 credits or passing level 3. And as part of that, you need your 14 credits in 3 approved subjects. If you don't know whether your subjects are approved, make sure you go and speak to Miss Halliwell. She'll be able to point you in the right direction. You need to make sure you have your level 2 reading and writing credits, also known as your literacy credits, and your level 1 credits. I had a bit of a situation before the start of this semester. So the semester started around February 20th, February 19th, I think it actually was. On February 17th or February 16th, I had a student come to me, turned up at my office. Hi, Miss. Hi. I've just moved down to the halls. I'm in the hall, I've moved in, but I'm 2 credits short of getting my level 3. All I need is my 14 credits and 3 approved subjects, eh? And I sat there. I just about cried. And this student, thank goodness there was an option for him, which we did get around, which I'm going to talk about soon, but it's not typically an option. Just about had to pack his stuff up and get back up here. So we don't want that to happen to you. So make sure you do have the requirements. Now, sometimes the wheels do fall off, and I understand that things happen, okay? So for those students who come to me around November time and say, look, I'm not going to get my university entrance for one reason or another, we don't want you to be in that position, but sometimes it happens. So I like to let students know that that doesn't mean that your university journey is over. We do have what we call a certificate in university preparation. It's a 1 semester course, and then you can start your degree in semester 2. Now, some degrees only have a semester 1 intake every year, okay? So if you're wanting to do teaching, engineering, digital screen, social work, speech and language pathology, law, then you have to start in February, so you can't rely on this. But if you're wanting to study arts or commerce, science, environmental science, then you can do this in your first semester. I like to think of this as a backup. We don't want you to have to rely on this, but just know it is there, okay? Cool. So the other thing we have is some of our courses require additional things. They're just your 14 credits and 3 approved subjects. So if you're wanting to study any of these, then we'd like you to have done the subjects down the left-hand side. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, I want to do finance, but I haven't done calculus, don't worry, we still have pathways for you to be able to study finance. You would just do an additional course, which again adds no time or money onto your degree. We just make it as part of your first year. One of the courses that has the most prerequisites is your engineering, okay? So if you're wanting to study engineering, 14 credits in level 3 calculus with the integration and differentiation, 14 credits in physics, and then for some disciplines we want you 14 credits in chemistry. Again, at the end, if you're up there and you think, actually, there's something I haven't done, come and talk to me at the end, and we can have a little bit of a chat about how you're going to get around that. Cool, so what do we offer at the University of Canterbury? We have a real diverse range of qualifications. We pretty much have everything, as long as you don't want to be a doctor, a nurse, a physio, an architect, a farmer, or a pilot. We've got a lot of other things, which is awesome. We're not going to talk about these today in any detail, and I'm going to tell you why we're not soon. But I'm going to text you after this presentation. Hopefully all of you have filled out that Stay in Touch card. Even if you got the text message, please still fill it out. Even if you just put your name, your email address, and mobile number on the manual card. Because what happens is that if you don't fill it out, I won't be able to text you with this presentation. So make sure you do. Super, super important. And when you get the presentation, you can literally just go into each of the little arrows and it shows you more about what we have on offer. Cool. I understand that coming to university can feel like a lot of money, but studies actually show that you're more likely to earn $1.3 million over your lifetime if you have a university qualification, which is quite a lot of money. What we do at the University of Canterbury each year is we offer $20 million worth of scholarships, that's a lot, which we help our students to fund their studies. You are in a really exciting time at the moment because what we did at the end of last year is we said, hey, our scholarships that we have on offer are no longer fit for our students. Those criteria were written 15 years ago, and students 15 years ago have different needs to what our students do now. So what we've done is we've done a full scholarship refresh. What those scholarships are not on the website yet, okay? So don't go looking at the website for our scholarships. They should be released around April time this year, okay? So from April, you should be able to go on and have a little bit of a look at them. But I will say they're going to be bigger and better than ever, and they're much more fit for our young people. So hopefully Mrs. Halliwell will let me come back and speak to you around sort of May time, because I will, and I can do a scholarship and accommodation presentation, so I can show you the new scholarships, and I will also show you how to apply for those scholarships. I will say though, we are going to be keeping these criteria for our scholarships. So we're still going to have academic scholarships, leadership scholarships, cultural involvement, community engagement, and subject scholarships for different subjects. Quite often students think I'm studying teaching, so I only can apply for the teaching scholarships. That is not really how we roll at UC, even though we do have some subject-specific scholarships. Most of our scholarships are general. in these areas, sort of thing. And it doesn't matter what you study, okay? But TBC, hold the fort until April, and I will come back and give you a little bit more of a spiel when I have more information. Scholarships open in June. So I know that you're thinking, oh my gosh, June's just halfway through my year 13 year. That's when you can start applying for them. They close in August. Halls of residence applications open in August, close in September, and then you can actually add your courses to study in October. Sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? Because it's kind of backwards, but that's how we roll with things at university. Cool, so the question on everybody's lips, the halls of residence, where do you live when you come to UC? Now, should we start with the bad news or the good news? Okay, we'll start with the bad news. We're trying to be realistic this year because I want you to know that not every student that applied for a halls of residence last year got into a hall, okay? We have had a 32% rise in accommodation applications since 2022. UC is one of the fastest growing universities, and people from all over New Zealand want to be within our four walls, which is pretty exciting. Question?
So what percentage of students usually get it out of all this supply?
It's really hard to know, and I can't give a percentage because what happens is that there is at least probably 200 students, I would say, that just apply and then think, actually, I wasn't really ever going to Canterbury, I just wanted to see how I went. And then there are some students on the wait list that are really, really serious. It's really hard to know the difference between who the serious ones are and who aren't. But there are ways around it. When we come to the halls of residence time, and when I come back for the presentation, I'll give you some top tips. I'm going to give you some top tips today, okay? So do know not everybody gets into a hall, but the great news and the most awesome part is that we are one of the cheapest places to live, cities to live in New Zealand, okay? If you are going to decide, if you and a group of mates actually think, nah, halls of residence is not for me, I want to go flatting, you are going to save a lot more money than if you are in the halls of residence. And then the second question our young people say is, but I want the halls experience. I want to have everything that somebody has living in a hall, but I'm going to be flatting. Now, what we have created is essentially a group. It's called Uni Life. There's two actually, Uni Life and Jumpstart. Their slogan is halls without walls, okay? So you get any opportunity that a halls of residence student would, but you're flatting, or you're living in a homestay, or you're living with family. And the best part about it is this is absolutely free, okay? These students get the same social experience as our hall students do, the same pastoral care, they make as many friends, and so it's really no different, except you're going to be paying a lot less, and this one's free. But the good news is that we do have lots of students who get into halls and lots of students who are successful. So in terms of UC, we have 5 fully catered halls of residence, okay? That means that food is provided. We have 2 self-catered options, and one of those options is a half fully catered, half self-catered option. I'm going to give you some tips about halls, and hopefully you're going to come to Christchurch at some point this year and have a little bit of a look around our halls. But, okay, Rochester and Rutherford Hall and Tupunuku Hall, those 2 halls are really popular, okay? So never put those 2 halls as your second option, okay? You have 2 options when you apply, your first choice and your second choice. Never put R&R and Tupunuku as your second choice. Those halls never look at their second choices, okay? They are what we call first choice halls. Rochester and Rutherford, last year, there's around 200 and something beds. And one student, so for one room, 7 students for one room, put it as their first choice last year. Okay, so that is incredibly competitive. So if you want to take the competitiveness out, then I would not be putting Rochester and Rutherford in your application. But if you really love that hall, then absolutely you can put it in your application. That's it. Halls of residence, I get texts saying, hey Katie, what's the best hall to go into? Halls of residence like ice cream flavours. I might like Goody Goody Gumdrops, you might like cookies and cream. You need to choose a hall that actually suits you as a person, and one hall might suit you, and another hall might suit someone else, okay? The other bit of advice that I have before we watch our halls video is in the history of UC halls, I don't think one hall has ever taken 30 students from one school. So if you all put Tupunuku as your first choice, chances are you're all not going to get into Tupunuku. So make sure that you do create a little bit of, don't always just put what your mate is putting in there, okay? Make sure you choose a hall that is right for you. Cool. So we're going to hear a little bit more about our halls and what is on offer in each of them.
I chose to live in this hall because they really offered academic and social support. There are lots of tutors that come in, the RAs are really helpful, but socially, you know, we can hang out in the common room, we can go to people's rooms. It's really lovely vibe.
I chose College House for the wide range of pastoral care, the exceptional facilities, the food, and the awesome traditions.
The best thing about living at Kirkland is definitely the people, the residents, the staff, the RA. I love them all. We do so many activities as a hall all together, and because there are so few of us, I'm able to know every single person's name that live there, and it feels like a family. It's definitely a community-based place, and I love it.
For me, the best thing about living at Rochester and Rutherford Hall would definitely be the people. We all gelled really easily. Even on the first day, as nerve-wracking as it was, within about 24 hours, I knew 3 or 4 people that had similar interests to me, or people who were doing things that I'd never even heard of. And that for me was so awesome to get to learn new things about new people and meet people around the country as well and hear their experiences.
The best thing about living at Tupunuku is there's a space for everyone. So if you want to go study, you'll go to the study room. If you want to go socialise, you'll grab a few of your mates and go into one of the lounges. There's a space and environment for everyone.
I think the best thing about living at Uni Hall is just the fact that you're surrounded by everyone who's going through the same thing, and you're at campus instead of your lectures, and then off and they're at dinner, and you can go back to the room and talk about the lectures. And just the real sense of community is just a real key centre point of why I just love living at Uni Hall.
The best thing about living in apartments is having that shared space with just you and your flatmates. So if you want to be tucked away in your room, you have that space to just relax with just them. I chose apartments for the apartment style living, having that free space to yourself while also having that same social experience that you get from your own.
Cool, so there were some top tips about living with us, and hopefully from that video you had a little bit of exposure to what the halls are and what they sort of offer. I always say to students though, the best way to know what hall of residence you're keen to study in is actually come down to the campus, and I'm going to touch on that really soon. On this little timeline, you can see there are a lot of different deadlines this year, okay? The first actual deadline, so scholarships open in June and then close on the 15th of August. That's the first one. And then they go on through the year. Every year without a doubt. Honestly, every year I get at least 30 students who come to me after scholarships or after accommodation and say, Katie, I missed the deadline. Unfortunately, university, we've got so many awesome students that we're dealing with. We have to kind of cut the line here, and if you don't make that deadline, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. 9 times out of 10, honestly, it's people who haven't signed up to our Stay in Touch database and haven't received my text messages or emails, okay? So every time there is a deadline due, a scholarships accommodation, every time I come to school, I will text you and let you know what those deadlines are or when I'm coming to school, okay? It is sometimes for students the thing that keeps them on top of everything that they need to do this year. Now, if you're thinking about UC and Otago and Waikato as an example, you're going to be tripling these deadlines because each university runs slightly differently. So if you haven't signed up to that Stay in Touch database, I 100% would. The other thing is if tomorrow you've signed up and you think, actually UC is not my thing, and I text you, just text me back saying stop or I'm no longer interested. I promise you I will not take offence and I will not cry myself to sleep over it. We definitely have lots of students that do that, and we would rather you be in than not in to win at all. So one of the coolest events of the year that I think we do is we take 30 academic staff and myself and the accommodation team, and we go on a big road trip and we come up to Nelson and we host an information evening here, okay? So today we haven't spoke about the qualifications in lots of detail, and that's because I want you to come along to the information evening and hear about our qualifications. So there's a session for each qual, so we have like a science session, an engineering session, a commerce session, and you can go to as many or as little of those sessions as you like. Again, it shows you the flavour of UC and what we have to offer for our students, and I would absolutely love to see your smiling faces there. Now, you wouldn't spend $30,000 on a car if you haven't test driven it. So why spend that much money on your education without coming and having a look whether it is for you? So I would 150% recommend coming down to our campus at some point, standing in the middle of it and going, is this the place that I want to be next year? And a really good time to do that is our open day. So it is on Friday the 30th of August. It's a great day to come and see our accommodation, have a look what we have on offer for our students and get a campus tour. I think the best part of open day is that you're going to be with students that you're going to be studying with the next year. It's an awesome buzz. Now, I understand that students can't always make that 30th of August date, and you might be already planning a trip down to Christchurch around that. So every year we offer campus tours. They're scheduled campus tours. So during term time, they run every Friday, and then in the holidays, they run every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, these campus tours do get booked up. So please don't book your flights or jump in your car without registering for the campus tour first. And the other reason that we need you to register is because on those campus tours you see 3 halls of residence, and we need to organise which 3 halls you want to see. I guess the benefit of coming to open day is you can see any of the halls. With the campus tours, we only have the availability for you to see 3. So if you want to see more than 3, definitely come down to open day. Cool, and that is pretty much it from me. Thank you for being such an awesome and attentive audience. Just to finish off, I'm a UC alumni. I absolutely love my time at UC so much that I left and I came back, and now I'm working here as a staff member. You would absolutely not regret coming here as a student, and please know and use me as a resource for your support this year and to help you have a really smooth journey to UC. Cool. Do we have any questions before we finish? Yeah.
So the open days on the 30th of August.
Yeah.
On like the applications for homes and scholarships and stuff for the balloons. So how
Cool.
do you have to go to the other open days?
So halls accommodation,
Yeah.
sorry, halls applications don't close till September time.
Okay.
So, and I think it's, I can't remember if it's 100% been set in stone yet, but it's around sort of the 20th of September. So you have like a lot of time.
Yeah, I think it's because I drill into the students. 1st of August, boom, let's go.
Yeah.
But there is a period of, quite a good period of being in that first round of offers.
So the other thing we're trying to do is like, as long as you get your application in that window, like you're going to be, if someone got it on the 1st of August and someone got it in on the 1st of September, same really. Like you're not going to be prioritised.
And I've got to look at those applications, those first applications until that end date.
Yeah. The only thing is scholarships, which most of our students, if you want to apply for a scholarship, you just do it anyway. And quite a lot of our students apply for more than one university scholarship just to see how they go, and that's absolutely fine as well. Actual study applications aren't due till October, so you've got lots of time in that window. It's just those scholarship ones. Yeah, cool. Questions?
When will all bottles
Come out?
Yeah.
Usually in the first week of October.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
good question.
would they all get?
What happens is they all come out, and then there are a few we don't do like first round, second round, that sort of thing. What we do is they all come out, and then there are a few times, like when the deposits are due, that we have like probably 30 that drop off the list, and then we get 30 more students from the wait list, and we put them on the list. So there's not like first, second, third round. It's just whenever students fall off, we then replace them with more students.
Do you get, so if you're not like let in the first round, do you get, do they let you know you're being waitlisted?
Yes, absolutely, they let you know. What happens is if you don't get in the first time, you go on a wait list. What I got my students to do this year, which I think helped a lot of our students, is actually email the accommodation team if you're on the wait list and be like, hi, I'm happy to be considered for any hall. Like some of our students were like, we don't care what hall we're going, anything is good. That also kind of opens up your options, and then obviously opens up the options for our accommodation providers as well. But I will talk to you a little bit more in the accommodation presentation when I come back about that process. But yeah, just be warned, and we're trying to be realistic, not everybody got a hall, okay? So do as much community service as you can, and do anything that stands you outside of other students. Okay? What do you give a hall, or what can you give a hall that other students might not be able to give? Take your time writing your accommodation applications. Great question. Anybody else? Yeah.
So those two halls that you said were the most popular.
Yeah.
What makes them the most popular?
Do you know what? I think it's just a reputational thing based on people that have gone there in the past. Like the example that I like to give, Wellington College. Wellington College students absolutely love Rochester and Rutherford. And there's no reason that it's better or worse than any other hall. It's just because heaps of students before them have gone and had a really good time. So it's really just based on people that have had an awesome time and didn't want to go in there again. Yeah. There's an awesome student from Marlborough. Her name's Amelia. I adore her. She's in her second year this year. She didn't get a hall of residence straight up. She waited for a few months on the wait list, and then she got in contact. Sorry, our accommodation team contacted her and said, look, I want to be in Island Apartments. Now, sorry, we can give you an offer in Island Apartments. Now, Island Apartments historically hasn't been as popular. There's no reason why it's not that popular. It's just we haven't had as much students go there. She went there, had literally the best year ever, and she often talks to students about that and how it doesn't actually matter what hall you're in, it's the people that make the experience. Yeah. Cool. Any other questions? Nice. If you've got any questions that you don't want to ask in front of everybody, come and see me at the end, and also if you have to stay in touch, if you could give it back, that would be awesome. Thanks, Dave. Were you excited for that? Yeah. You come into a lot of
Oh my god, great idea.
That's the thing, like,
I wanted to use it with clubs, but like, I don't know, I feel like oh yeah, well, so like, wait, what were you saying?
Yeah, it's like everything.
I was really worried. not always saying it's like this, but yeah. If you're a person who's a good worker, knows time management, like it's good to meet deadlines and things like that. Oh, sorry, no, we don't. Yeah, don't do the hours. But yeah, to be honest with you, a lot of the outros on it. So, yeah, that he does. Marketing engagement and then other things. So I'm focusing on. Thank you.